Monday at 7 p.m. W5F. This is the W5FC repeater, PL 10.9.
need to make myself very clear. If we uplink now, Skynet will be in control of your military.
But you'll be in control of Skynet, right?
That is correct, sir.
Skynet.
Good evening. The time is...
This is N5BB. I'll be starting Skynet in just about a minute. Do you use a repeater before the net? Please do so now. N5BB, sorry for the delay. I had knee replacement surgery on Wednesday. Still recovering from it. A little bit delayed here. Hang on just a moment. This is N5BB preparing for Skynet. Okay, let me get my log started. Finally, this is N5BB. My name is Bill. I'll be your net control for this session of the Dallas Amateur Radio Club Skynet. Skynet is a weekly net called every Saturday night at 9 p.m. concerning the subject of astronomy. Our purpose is to help amateurs become more familiar with the... Oh, hold on while I get rid of something on my computer. More familiar with the nighttime sky options for this net. Stations with priority or emergency traffic may enter the net at any time using a ProSense break in your call sign. This is a directed net. Please do not transmit without directions from your net control, N5BB. Stations are reminded to identify at the end of your transmissions. This weekly net operates at 146.88 megahertz with a PL tone of 110.9. Check-ins via Echolink are also possible using a W5FC-R station ID or Echolink node 37247. And I am logged in Echolink so I can see anything going on over there. Tonight's topics, astronomy charts, pictures, live audio video links are available online. Go to www.w5fc.org right now for the complete list. Remember to tell others about this popular net. This is N5BB, Skynet. You can now check in the net electronically by going to the club website, w5fc.org. Look for tonight's announcement, and then click on the appropriate link. Hold on a moment. It's going to take me a moment to get that list up here. Just a second here. I will do so. Too many things going on here. Hang on. Okay, I can see the list. So right now I see Tom, K5ICX, myself, Tony, NT5TM, Bill, W5BLT, Brenda, WB5OZL, Antonio, AG9SG. Dale, N5LIG. Randy, KE5JIT. Cody, K5MCD. And Chaz with Bob the Cat, KF5JHA. Just a moment. I got too many screens here. Okay. So, letting you know that's who I have so far, and there'll be time for check-ins in a few minutes. Next. I'm sorry, like I say, I'm on medication here. Apologize. The net is 90 minutes long, ordered in several parts. General announcements: Texas Astronomical Society of Dallas, National Space Society, recent astronomical discoveries. The discussion topic of the evening was up: space exploration and history, Constellation of the week, space launches of the week, visible satellite passages over the next couple of days, and we could do astronomical Q&A, although we never do.
02, time up.
Transmit on this frequency, or I did check in. So, let's go back over. Again, I have the people I listed earlier, ending in Chaz, that are already checked in. Do we have anybody else that would like to check in? That's a short-time check-in. Short-time check-ins to Skynet. Please come now. Please come now with your call sign, your name, and your location. Short time. This is N5BB. Nothing heard. Okay, do we have any general RF check-ins to Skynet, excuse me. Echolink will be later. Any RF check-ins for Skynet? If so, please come down.
Kilo November 5, Echo, 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 Al from Allen. This is Alpha Golf 5, Papa Mike, Rich in Rockwall, AG 5 p.m. I wish your recovery to be rapid, Bill. Have a great day.
Kilo, Foxtrot 5, Zulu, Bravo Lima, Bill from Springs. This is Kilo 5, Whiskey Victor Lima, James, Charles.
There, James, you broke up. Another your call. James, what was your call? Whiskey Victor Lima?
Yes, Kilo Golf 5, Whiskey Victor Lima.
Very good. I recognize KF5WVL James, KF5ZBL Bill, AG5PM Rich, thank you for the good words, good thoughts, and KN5EEE Al. Do we have any other RF check-ins for Skynet?
This is Whiskey 5, Golf, Uniform, Sierra, Gus, far, far northeast Dallas.
Over on Echolink, Brenda, let's see, just a moment. I think you're checked in over on the RF. Let me try to get to that screen. Okay, we already have Brenda. N5LIG. Dale, do you want to check in on audio? We have you, Dale. Jimmy, KD5LQD, did you want to check into the net? check in via the web form. Virginia in V5F. Hello, Virginia. Okay, one last try. Any other RF check-ins to Skynet? Please come now with your call sign, your name, and your location. This is N5BB.
Hey, Bill, good evening. Kilo Bravo 3 Romeo Whiskey Tango in Irving. Just put the man's name and call in the law that we listening from afar.
We can have KB3 RWT Jerry. And I'm not sure if I recognize you guys, but W5GUS. Okay, do we have anybody else in any mode that would like to check into Skynet? If so, please come now. This is N5BB, Skynet Net Control. Maybe a short net. Okay. Do we have any general announcements? If so, please come now.
November Tango 5, Tango Mike. And Kilo 5, Juliet Delta Whiskey, John and Compel, check-in only.
Okay, I recognize you, John. And let me see, was Tony already checked in? Yes. Okay, Tony in Bird City. Go ahead, give us some announcements, Tony.
Thank you, Bill. First off, tonight's Afterglow movie involves not getting chomped by the birds of Bird City. Instead, you're going to escape. Escape from L.A. from 1996, a big-budget, spectacular blockbuster starring Kurt Russell. And a lot of people seem to have been selected to impersonate other more famous actors. But anyway, it got very split reviews. You can share your review tonight at 10:30 plus or minus 5 minutes in our Afterglow movie discussion. Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. we have the meeting on the air at 7 p.m. on 146.88 megahertz. The meeting on the air is, of course, open to any ham who'd like to share what's been going on in their ham world. We do also have the Racies net tomorrow at 8 p.m. on 146.88. Everyone is welcome to listen. Roger will be doing our training presentation, but only Racies appointees can check in. We do the check-ins after the training presentation. This Monday we have Ham Fixins at 7 p.m. on this repeater. We talk about recipes, cooking tips, kitchen stories, occasionally a restaurant adventure, although it's really not our main job. This is the only net I give a safety warning for. Please eat before the net, or else you'll get hungry. And finally, please don't forget that the actual in-person Dallas Amateur Radio Club meeting will be this Tuesday, February the 4th, with the board meeting at 6 p.m. and the general meeting at 7 p.m. Our general meeting presentation will be from the ARRL section manager, Steve Lutz-Smith, KG5VK. Where do we meet? The Dallas Medical Center, the northeast corner of Webb Chapel and LBJ in the third floor community room. Again, 7 p.m. this Tuesday, and more details are available at w5fc.org. Thank you very much for listening, NT5TM.
Thank you, Tony. Does anybody else have any other announcements of any type? This is N5BB, Skynet Net Control. Okay, MSAT. There is a Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Central Time, National MSAT Net. Go to Echolink, look for asterisk, AMSAT asterisk in groups, or go to www.amsatnet.com. There's two local nets. There's the East AMSAT net. This is for satellite information. This is in the DFW. This is the Dallas kind of side of the Metroplex. The net meets every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. on this repeater, 146.88, except when we have a club meeting. So on all other Tuesdays, it'll be at 8 p.m. on this frequency. There's a Wednesday AMSAT net at 9 p.m. on the Arlington 147.14 megahertz repeater with a TL tone of 110.9. Again, that's on Wednesday evening at 9 p.m. There's a lot of the Dallas Amateur Radio Club nets on various nights of the week. On Monday evenings, you'll see a whole pile of them. So go to the website and you'll see them. W5SC.org is the website. And then Tony already talked about ham fixings, and there's many more. Then on Saturday, we have at 7 p.m. TechNet, talking about technical items. And then at 9 p.m. Skynet, the net you're listening to, which ends at 10:30. And then at 10:30 p.m. we have the Afterglow movie, which already was mentioned earlier, Escape from L.A. And then we have the first and third Sundays of the month. We have the Dallas Amateur Radio Club meeting on the air, as Tony mentioned. That is at 7 p.m. on Sunday, even though it's not, the time is not listed on the script, Tom. Then every night there's a National Traffic System early training net at 6:30 p.m. on this repeater, except when we have a club meeting. The net moves to the Irving repeater then. And then every evening at 9:30 p.m. there's a late National Traffic System net on the Irving 146.72 megahertz WA5CKF repeater. All are welcome to check in on any or all of these nets. Just please listen so you're checking in at the proper time. Tom, do you want to talk to us about the Afterglow net with your extremely accurate description? K5ICX and 5BV.
Why, thank you, Bill. I'll be happy to do that. Yes, indeed. Kurt Russell's phone rang again. It was the 7th time this morning, and he expected to ring yet again later this morning. But unlike normal people, pummeled with unsolicited phone calls wanting to renew car warranties or buy your home, this call was far more insidious. It was a movie director with big ambitions. The answering machine picked up, and the now familiar voice spoke. Kurt, I've got a great movie idea for you. It's a phone-in performance you can do in your sleep. In fact, you don't even have to be on the set. You can simply call my recording machine and actually phone in your performance. Your on-set persona will be a stuffed Raggedy Andy doll with an eye patch. Collect the money at a preset money drop. All you have to do is find your old script for Escape from New York, replace the words New York with L.A., change personal detonation device with killer virus, and replace President Donald Pleasance with Cliff Robertson selling you long-distance phone service, and you'll have the movie plot. It's that simple. Russell replenished his triple rum and coke with fresh ice and sat down to eat his breakfast. Before he could take his first bite, the phone rang again. Join us for Escape from L.A. from 1996 tonight at 10:30 p.m. Back to you, Bill.
Thank you, Tom. You know, Tom makes a big effort to make the extremely accurate with each of these synopses of the movies. Do we have anybody that would like to check in to Skynet? So please come now.
This is Whiskey Bravo 4, Mike, Foxtrot, India, WB4MFI, Ted, Dallas, Handheld, O-Power.
Very good, Ted. So working out of WB4MFI. Ted's got the radio in his hand. He is in complete control. On Echolink, I see a new station, Rick, KE5OQD. Rick, would you like to check in on audio and tell us where you're located? Well, we know you're trying, Rick, but the audio's not working. So we'll give up on that. But thanks for trying. But your Echolink audio is 0. So somehow the audio device isn't set up to the proper microphone. It's easy how, excuse me, it's amazing how easy for that to get misset in your device. Happens all the time. Thank you very much. Okay, one more try. Any other check-ins via any mode to Skynet? This is N5BB, net controller. Rick is in Riverview, Florida. Oh, we got some DX here. Thank you very much, Rick, in Riverview, Florida. What a deal. Okay, Chaz. Tell us about the Texas Astronomical Society of Dallas. And this is in fact BB.
Thank you, Bill. Good evening, everyone. This is Chad, AF5JHA, also Bob the Cat. Can't forget him. On February the 28th, 2025, there will be the next Texas Astronomical Society of Dallas Club meeting. The meeting will be held at 7:30 p.m. in person at the University of Texas at Dallas. And it will also be held on Zoom. Featured speaker is going to be Dan Hassenauer. His topic is going to be the recruiting of the Wilson Telescope mirror. Sounds interesting. Saturday Night Public Observing Sessions continues. And that was picked to be on Saturday nights, so there could be an opportunity for 5 reports from the Texas Astronomical Society of Dallas Public Observing Sessions. On the first Saturday of the month, which is tonight, stargazing is held in Fairview. Do we have a ham radio operator to stargazing that would like to make a report? Please come with your call sign if you'd like to do so. Hearing nothing. You know, the planet Venus is right next to the moon. I was observing Venus this afternoon before sunset. I mean, we're talking about an hour and a half before, because Venus is so bright you can see it in the daytime, but it helps to have the moon right next to it and you can see it easily this afternoon. It was awesome. But they're going to be looking at Jupiter and Mars and Saturn as well in the evening sky, as well as some deep sky objects. So there's a lot of things to see at Fairview tonight. You can check the TASS website at texasastro.org for up-to-date information and details about meetings and public observing sessions. This is KF5JJ, back to our net control in 5BB.
Well, thank you, Chaz. Well, if Venus is by the moon, then maybe if the cow is jumping really high, it can jump over the moon and Venus. Very good. So now it's time for National Space Society events and activities. This is N5BB, and this is the Dallas Amateur Radio Club sponsored Skynet. Um, I happen to be the Vice President and Membership Director of the National Space Society North Texas Chapter. My email is space@byron.net, SPACE@BYROM.net. The National Space Society is a nonprofit group based in the U.S., which is interested in the exploration and development of space and the creation of a spacefaring civilization. The big event each year for the National Space Society is the International Space Development Conference. It's ISDC. The next ISDC will be held in Orlando, Florida, June 19th to 22nd of this year, 2025. The North Texas chapter of the National Space Society meets at 3:30 p.m. on the second Sunday afternoon of each month. The meeting location is Spring Creek Barbecue on the southwest corner of Highway 183 and Beltline Road in Irving. The next meeting will be held on Sunday afternoon, February the 9th. That's a week from tomorrow. Again, it'll be a hybrid meeting, in person and virtual, and our speaker will be virtual. It will be Dr. Julia Klein, who is she'll make a presentation about in-space assembly research at NASA Langley Research Center. Our meetings, again, are also virtually available for WebEx. Please contact Bill Byram N5ED if you'd like to attend virtually online. And I can send you a sign-up link. On the last Friday evening of each month, at 8 p.m., the National Space Society North Texas Chapter sponsors a social event called Space Rendezvous. In Irving, this is on the south or eastbound frontage road of Highway 635, about a block east of in Irving. Anyone is welcome to attend and discuss human activities in space with us. No membership in any group is required. Our last such event was on Friday, January the 31st. That's right, last night. And we had 10 attendees. I was not there because I'm still recovering from my surgery. Too many painkillers and other strong drugs in my system. Space Rendezvous will be held on Friday, February the 28th. The next public outreach event for the North Texas chapter of the National Space Society will be Crowley Independent School District STEM Space Day on Thursday, February 13th. We're also sponsoring special award scholarships at the Dallas Regional Science Fair. It's Fair Park in Dallas on February the 15th. So we'll have judges for this event there for space-related student projects. This is N5BB, Skynet in progress. Our local National Space Society chapter website is ntx.nss.org. Our group also has an active Facebook page. Type National Space Society of North Texas in the search box. If you have any questions about the National Space Society, please contact Bill, November 5 Bravo Bravo, at my QRZ listed address, or at space@byram.net. That's it. This is N5BB, Skynet in progress. Do we have any additional check-ins via any mode? astronomical discoveries. WB50ZL. Take it away, Brenda. This is N5BB, Skynet.
Bill, I was just talking to Brenda on chat. She's having audio problems, so I'll read the article. KE5ICX.
One broke up there, Tom. Who wants to read the article?
I'm going to attempt to read the article. Brenda is having some audio issues.
Okay, go right ahead, Tom, because I've got a discussion topic of the evening coming up, and I've
Okay, very good. My audio is a little choppy tonight as well, so I'm not sure how well this will work out on my end, but here we go. This one is NASA's Pandora mission one step closer to probing alien atmospheres. This is Pandora, NASA's newest exoplanet mission, is one step closer to launch with the completion of the spacecraft bus, which provides the structure, power, and other systems that will allow the mission to carry out its work. Pandora's Exoplanet Science Working Group is led by the University of Arizona, and Pandora will be the first mission to have its operations center of the U of A Space Institute. It says, this is a huge milestone for us and keeps us on track for the launch in the fall, said Elsa Quintana, Pandora's principal investigator at NASA's Goddard Space Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. The bus holds our instruments and handles navigation, data acquisition, and communications with Earth. It's the brains of the spacecraft. Pandora is a small satellite poised to provide in-depth study of at least 20 known planets orbiting distant stars to determine the composition of their atmospheres, especially the presence of hazes, clouds, and water. The data will establish a firm foundation for interpreting measurements by NASA's James Webb Space Telescope and future missions aimed at searching for habitable worlds. Although smaller and less sensitive than Webb, Pandora will be able to stare longer at host stars of extrasolar planets, allowing for deeper study, said Pandora co-investigator Daniel Apai, professor of astronomy and planetary sciences at U of A Stewart Observatory and Lunar and Planetary Laboratory, who leads the mission's Exoplanet Science Working Group. Better understanding of the stars will help Pandora and its big brother, the James Webb Space Telescope, disentangle signals from stars and their planets. Astronomers can sample an exoplanet's atmosphere when it passes in front of the star, as seen from Earth's perspective during an event known as transit. Part of the star's light skims the planet's atmosphere before making its way to the observer. This interaction allows the light to interact with atmospheric substances, and their chemical fingerprints, dips in brightness at characteristic wavelengths, become imprinted in the light. The concept of Pandora was born out of necessity to overcome a snag in observing starlight passing through the atmospheres of exoplanets. In 2018, the doctoral student in my group, Benjamin Rackham, now at MIT, research scientists described the astrophysical effect as by which light coming directly from the star muddles the signal of light passing through the exoplanet's atmosphere. Apai explained. We predicted that this effect would limit Webb's ability to study habitable planets. Telescopes see light from an entire star, not just the small amount grazing the planet. Stellar surfaces aren't uniform. They sport hotter, usually bright regions called faculae and cooler, darker regions similar to the spots in our sun, both of which grow, shrink, and change position as the star rotates. As a result, these mixed signals in the observed light can make it difficult to distinguish between light that has passed through an exoplanet's atmosphere and light that varies based on the sun's changing appearance. For example, variations in light from the host star can mask or mimic the signal of water, a likely key ingredient researchers look for when evaluating an exoplanet's potential for harboring life. Using a novel all-aluminum 45-centimeter wide telescope jointly developed by Lawrence Livermore's National Laboratory and Corning Specialty Materials in Keene, New Hampshire. Pandora's detectors will capture each star's visible brightness in near-infrared spectrum at the same time, which is also obtaining the transiting planet's near-infrared spectrum. This combined data will enable the science team to determine the properties of stellar surfaces and cleanly separate star and planetary signals. The planetary strategy takes advantage of the mission's ability to continuously observe its targets for extended periods, something flagship observatories like Webb, which offer limited observing time due to high demand, cannot regularly do. Over the course of its year-long mission, Pandora will observe at least 20 exoplanets 10 times, with each stare lasting a total of 24 hours. Each observation will include the transit, which is when the mission will capture the planet's spectrum. Carl Harshman, who leads the mission operations team at the U of A Space Institute, will support the spacecraft's operation once it launches later this year, said, "We have a very excited team and has been working hard to have our Mission Operations Center running at full speed at a time of launch and look forward to receiving science data. Just this week, we performed communications tests with our antenna system that will transmit commands to Pandora and receive the telemetry from the spacecraft." Pandora is led by NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center. Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory provides the mission's project management and engineering. Pandora's telescope was manufactured by Corning, was developed collaboratively with Livermore, which is also developing the imaging detector assemblies, the mission's control electronics, and all supporting thermal and mechanical subsystems. The infrared sensor was provided by NASA Goddard. Blue Canyon Technologies provided the bus and is performing spacecraft assembly, integration, and environmental testing. NASA's Ames Research Center in California, Silicon Valley will provide the mission's data processing. Pandora's Mission Operations Center is located in the University of Arizona, and a host of additional universities support the science team. So there you have it, a very big team of people looking at exoplanet atmospheres. That's it, Bill. Back to you, KE5ICX.
Thank you, Tom. Do we have any other additional check-ins to Skynet? This is N5BB.
Delta 5, Romeo, Kilo, Papa, J and Louisville.
Yeah, that station's break up a little bit. Somebody in Louisville, please give your call phonetically again and your name.
Kilo, Delta 5, Romeo, Kilo, Papa, J and Louisville.
Okay, you're over-deviating. Cut your audio. Pull the microphone back from your mouth several inches and try again.
Kilo, Delta 5, Romeo, Kilo, Papa, Jerry in Louisville.
Jerry, that was perfect. KD5RKP. Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, you were over-deviating, so it just kept dropping out. Do we have anybody else that would like to check in to Skynet? So please come down. Now we have the discussion topic of the evening by the net control. The topic is Earth's mini-moon was probably a piece of its real moon. This is from Scientific American magazine. It was written by Becky Faria. Scientists think a small rock discovered near Earth last August was hurled into space by an ancient impact on the lunar surface. And this was I can see now this came from Scientific American, but distributed through the New York Times. For a few months last fall, a school bus-sized space rock named 2024 PT5 gained fame as Earth's new mini-moon. Astronomers rushed to study the object while it was still close enough to Earth to observe in detail. Now, one team has concluded that 2024 PT5 is a chunk of the real moon. The rock was most likely flung into space by the impact on the lunar surface that occurred sometime within the past tens of thousands of years, according to a study published earlier this month in the Astrophysical Journal Laters. Wow, that's really recent, the past tens of thousands of years. This is the second time scientists have linked a near-Earth object to the moon. After a 2021 study identified the object 469219 Kemo'oilawa as possibly lunar in origin. Taken together, the research reveals a population of exiled moon rocks, or lunar ejecta, that has remained hidden up until now. We knew that lunar ejecta were potentially hiding in these kinds of really near-Earth objects, said Teddy Carita, a postdoctoral researcher at Lowell Observatory in Arizona who led the research. Earth often encounters drifting objects, including asteroids or meteoroids, that can become temporary moons or quasi-satellites. Advanced observatories, such as the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, or ATLAS, ATLAS, are designed to spot these fellow travelers, which are typically visible for only weeks or months. 2024 PT5 was initially detected by ATLAS on August the 7th, a discovery that galvanized follow-up observations around the world. On August the 16th, Dr. Caretta and his colleagues spied the object with the Lowell Observatory Telescope in Arizona and the NASA Infrared Telescope Facility in Hawaii. This is N5BB, Skynet in progress. Dr. Caretta compared the light patterns reflected off the rock to show how light has been observed bouncing off other extraterrestrial surfaces. He discovered a strong match with silicon-rich lunar grains collected by Apollo crews and a Soviet robot lander. The object also followed the distinctive horseshoe trajectory, a fact hints at a local origin. The rock's meandering path ignited debate over whether the object should really be called a mini-moon, as it never entered Earth's orbit. But the term is still used loosely in both academic and popular contexts. In a formal sense, this object did not orbit the Earth, but it was really, really close, Dr. Caretta said. We don't have a great vocabulary to describe the exact scenario for this object, which, for a brief period of time, was barely moving with respect to the Earth. Vishnu Reddy, professor of planetary science at the University of Arizona, who reviewed the study, said the team did a remarkable job of assessing possible origins of 2024 PT5. This is N5BB, Skynet progress. The circumstantial evidence makes the lunar option the most logical one, said Dr. Reddy, who also previously served as a doctoral advisor to two of the study's authors. But unless you go and bring a sample back, you cannot tell for sure this is a piece of the moon. There are no current plans to gather pieces of 2024 PT5 to Earth for study on Earth. But China is developing a mission called Tianwen-2 to collect samples from 469219 Kemo'oilawa, the other object pegged as a moon rock. Raul de la Fuente Marcos an astronomer at the Complutense University of Madrid, who is not involved in the study, called it a compelling case for a lunar origin of 2024 PT5. This explanation aligns with his own team's findings in a forthcoming paper that identified a third rock, 2022 NX1, as yet another possible piece of the moon. This growing family of moon rocks around Earth is packed with insights about our planetary backyard. One study has already tried to trace the origins of 469219 Kemoalewa back to the moon's Giordano Bruno crater, raising a possibility of matching future rocks to specific lunar sites. These efforts could illuminate the processes that shape lunar rocks on and off the moon, while also satisfying the popular demand for new mini-moons. It's good to see the public interested in asteroids that aren't going to kill us, Dr. Greta said. What a pleasure. Ah, yes. By the way, I didn't read another article that I could have read talking about an asteroid that could be a very dangerous one. It's got a chance of, I think it's at 1.3% right now, that'll impact us, in the next 20 years or something. But they need to get more data before we can really know about that one. Okay, do we have any questions or comments or check-ins? This is N5BB, Skynet. Very good. Moving right ahead. We're doing just great. It's now time for Chaz again. What's up, Chaz? This is KF5JHA. This is N5BB. Take it away.
Thank you, Bill. Just to be clear, my last name is not again. I thought that was funny. This is KF5JHA. We call this segment of Skynet. What's up? Because it's all about what's gone on over the last couple of weeks and what's going on for the next couple of weeks and beyond astronomically. Slide master, slide number 3, please. Now, we've talked about the predicted nova of the star T Corona Borealis, which may erupt at any time. Its current brightness is a magnitude 10, which is too faint to be seen, much too faint with just your 2 eyes. But when it does go nova, T Corona Borealis could become as bright as the North Star. Now, I can see the North Star with just my eyes from my very light-polluted location in Mesquite. Slide master, slide number 4. This image of the sun was taken on Thursday, January the 29th from spaceweather.com. The large sunspot complexes on the sun sometimes are so large that you can use just your solar eclipse glasses to see them. Now, the sun is around its 11-year solar maximum. We're not going to know when that happens until after it's passed. We've talked about the solar cycle about 2 months ago on Skynet. Slide master, slide number 5. Now, the new moon was on January the 29th, so tonight. The current phase of the moon is a waxing crescent. And, of course, the moon was right next to the planet Venus. Wow, it was really spectacular. I saw it about, I think it was 4:30, 5 o'clock. Yes, before the sunset, because the moon was right next to Venus, and Venus is so bright you can see it in the daytime sky. Pretty cool. So today, on February the 1st, the moon is at perigee, which is the point in the moon's orbit that is closest to the Earth at a distance of 367,457 kilometers. The first quarter moon is on February the 5th. Full moon is on February the 12th. On February 17th, the moon will be at apogee, which is a point in the moon's orbit that is furthest from the Earth at a distance of 404,882 kilometers. Third quarter moon is going to be on February the 20th. Slide master, slide number 6. Tonight, I already talked about it. The moon and Venus are in conjunction. You might still get a glimpse of it if you go out right now, but you're getting pretty low in the west right now. Slide master, slide number 7, please. February the 6th, between midnight and sunrise, the moon occults the star cluster of the Pleiades, also known as M45. All you need to observe this is just your 2 eyes. But if you use a pair of binoculars or telescope, that will greatly enhance your view. Remember, February the 6th, that's just in a few days. Slide master, slide number 8. Later that day, on the evening of February the 6th, there's a conjunction of the moon and Jupiter in the evening sky. Jupiter's the bright thing almost overhead right now. Slide master, slide number 9. On February the 9th, there's a conjunction of the moon and the planet Mars and the bright star Pollux in the eastern sky. They're all formed like a triangle in the sky. Slide master, slide number 10. The next night on February the 10th is when the moon is in conjunction with M44. That's also known as the Beehive star cluster in the eastern evening sky. And slide master, slide number 11. On February the 12th, the moon and the bright star Regulus are in conjunction in the eastern evening sky. And this is KF5JJ, and this is Skynet. Slide master, slide number 12. Now, do any of you out there in Radio Land have a question, or maybe you need a fill on any of the information, or maybe you just have an astronomy question? Come now with your call sign if you have a question or need a fill. Hearing nothing. Slide master, slide number 13. So as the moon waned this past week, so do these words for this segment of Skynet. Stay safe, keep well, pray for our world. It's the only one where humans live right now. And until next time, well, actually, I'll be doing another segment on Skynet in a few minutes. Keep looking up so you know what's up. And this is KF5JHA, back to our net control, N5BB. It's back to you.
Very good there, Chaz. Thank you very much. So, do we have any other check-ins, questions, or comments? This is N5BB, Skynet in progress. K5ICX, this is N5BB. I see Brenda popping in and out of the Echolink list. Who's going to do the next section?
Bill, I'll go ahead and do it. KE5ICX.
Go right ahead, Tom. This is N5BB, Skynet in progress. It's now time for space exploration and space history. With Tom filling in for Brenda. Go ahead.
Okie dokie. Thank you, Bill. The first section is space exploration news. Boom supersonic XB-1 jet breaks sound barrier on historic test flight. Boom Supersonic made history on January 28th when its XB-1 jet broke the sound barrier for the first time. Boom's supersonic chief test pilot Tristan Geppetto Brandenburg took off in the company's XB-1 jet from the storied Mojave Air and Spaceport in California this morning under mostly clear skies. Some 11 and a half minutes into the flight, the 12th overall for the XB-1 at an altitude of around 35,000 feet, the test plane exceeded Mach 1, the speed of sound, marking the first time a civil aircraft has gone supersonic over the continental United States. The XB-1 is a technology demonstrator, meaning the Boom Supersonic is testing it in order to validate the design and subsystems of the jet to pave the way for the company's Overture passenger aircraft. Overture is planned 64 to 80-seat supersonic aircraft that Boom Supersonic hopes to become the first passenger jet to fly faster than the speed of sound since the British-French-made Concorde, which made its last flight in 2003. Colorado-based Boom Supersonic already has over 100 orders for Overture from major airliners worldwide. The company hopes to help return supersonic airliners to service, potentially cutting flight times in half. Next article, NASA's asteroid Bennu sample reviews mix of life ingredients. Studies of the rock and dust from the asteroid Bennu delivered to Earth by NASA's OSIRIS-REx. That's the Origin, Spectro-Interpretation, Resource Identification, and Security Regolith Explorer. That's a mouthful. Spacecraft has revealed molecules that on our planet are the key to life, as well as a history of salt water that could have served as the broth for these compounds to interact and combine. The findings do not show evidence of life itself, but they do suggest the conditions necessary for the emergence of life were widespread across the early solar system, increasing the odds life could have formed in other planets and moons. Detailed in the Nature Astronomy paper, among the most compelling detections were amino acids, 14 of the 20 that life on Earth uses to make proteins, and all 5 nannucleobases that life on Earth uses to store and transmit genetic instructions in more complex terrestrial biomolecules such as DNA and RNA, including how to arrange amino acids into proteins. Scientists have also described exceptionally high abundances of ammonia in the Bennu samples. Ammonia is important to biology because it can react with formaldehyde, which is also detected in the samples to form complex molecules such as amino acids, given the right conditions. When amino acids link up into long chains, they make proteins, which go on to power nearly every biological function. Next up, our birthdays we have, and this is from January 27th through February 1st. John Fabian, he was born on January 28, 1939. Flew on STS-7 and 51G. David C. Hilmers was born January 28, 1950. He flew on STS-51J, 26, 36, and 42. Christina Koch, she was born on January 29, 1979. Wow, boy, I'm getting old. Soyuz MS-12, Soyuz MS-13. That was the Expeditions 59, 60, and 61, and on Artemis 2. And our local celebrity, Wally Funk, was born on January 31st, 1939, and flew on NS-16. By the way, she showed up at one of our work things for, what was it, lecture and lab one time, believe it or not. Dropped in, said hi, and then left very quickly. I don't think she liked us. Anyway, Daniel M. Taney was born on February 1st, 1961. He flew on STS-108, 120, 122. That would be part of Expedition 16. Now, in space history, we have, let's see, we lost 3 members of the NASA family in a flash fire. I don't have a header on this one. During our ground test for the first planned missions, Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Caffey were rehearsing for a planned launch on February 21st when the fire swept through the command module. Died within seconds. After this tragedy, a thorough analysis and all aspects of the Apollo program were conducted. The accident review board determined an electric arc in that they started the fire, which engulfed the high-pressure oxygen-filled vessel in seconds. The review led to major changes in the Apollo system design, operations, and management and procedures. These changes made the Apollo spacecraft safer and allowed successful completion of 6 missions to the moon and safe operations of the Apollo systems until it was retired. of Ham became the first chimp in space, launching aboard Mercury Redstone 2 for a 17-minute suborbital flight. Ham survived the flight and gained instant fame upon his return. He'd been trained to respond to lights and operate controls. He survived the mission and lived in zoos until his death in 1983. The successful mission enabled naval aviator Alan Shepard to become the first American in space 4 months later. Then on January 1st, January 31st, 1971, Apollo 14 was launched from Pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center. The Antares lunar module touched down on the Flomero Highlands on February 5th, 1971, with Commander Alan Shepard and lunar module pilot Edgar Mitchell, while Stuart Russo continued to orbit the moon in the Apollo Command and Service module named Kitty Hawk. Shepard, the first American in space, became the oldest man to walk on the moon to this day. On January 28th, 1986, the Shuttle Challenger exploded, killing all 7 crew members. The Rogers Commission, which convened shortly afterwards, concluded that an O-ring seal on the Challenger's solid rocket motors failed to contain pressurized gas, burning gas that leaked out onto the booster, causing the structural failure of Challenger's external tank and the orbiter's subsequent disintegration due to aerodynamic forces. NASA's organizational culture was also scrutinized by the Rogers Commission, and the Space Shuttle program's goal of replacing the United States expendable launch systems was cast into doubt. And then finally, yet another disaster. This is the week that they all happened. February 1st, 2003, Shuttle Columbia disintegrated on re-entry. The Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated as it re-entered the atmosphere over Texas and Louisiana, killing all 7 astronauts on board. It was the second Space Shuttle mission to end in disaster after the loss of Challenger and the crew in 1986. The crew designated STS-107 was the 28th flight for the orbiter, the 113th flight of the Space Shuttle fleet, and the 88th after the Challenger disaster. It was dedicated to research in various fields, mainly on board the Space Hab module inside the shuttle's payload bay. During launch, a piece of insulating foam broke off the Space Shuttle external tank and struck the thermal protection system tiles on the orbiter's left wing. Similar foam shedding had occurred during previous Space Shuttle launches, causing damage that ranged from minor to near catastrophic, but some engineers suspected that the damage to Columbia was more serious. Before re-entry, NASA managers had limited the investigation, reasoning that the crew could not have fixed the problem if it had been confirmed. When Columbia re-entered the atmosphere of Earth, the damage allowed hot atmospheric gases to penetrate the heat shield and destroy the internal wing structure, which caused the orbiter to become unstable and break apart. And then finally, on January 31st, 1958, Explorer 1 became the first satellite to successfully launch into space. This satellite had a clear-cut scientific objective. The primary science instrument on Explorer 1 was a cosmic ray detector designed to measure the radiation environment in Earth's orbit. Once in space, this experiment provided by Dr. James Van Allen of the University of Iowa revealed a much lower cosmic ray count than expected. Van Allen theorized that the instrument may have been saturated by very strong radiation from a belt of charged particles trapped in space by the Earth's magnetic field. The existence of these radiation belts was confirmed by another U.S. satellite launched 2 months later, and it became known as the Van Allen belts in honor of their discoverer. And that's it. Back to you, Bill. This is KE5ICX.
Very good. Thank you, Tom. Do we have any other check-ins or questions or comments? This is N5BB, Skynet in progress. On the web login, I'd like to welcome Clay, N50F in Mesquite. Hello, Clay. Good to see you again. Okay, let's move ahead now to the next part of the net. We're doing pretty good. Miss Carolyn's Constellation of the Week. Chaz, KF5JHA. Take it away and make us chuckle in 5BB.
Thank you, Bill. He's foreshadowing the jokes of the week, but that's going to be a slide after this. Slide master, slide number 14. Miss Carolyn's Constellation of the Week is named in honor of Silent Key, Carolyn, KC50ZT. Carolyn contributed to Skynet each week, almost from its beginning in 2012 until May of 2019, with a detailed look at one particular constellation each week. Now, since there are about 52 easily visible constellations seen in North Texas throughout the year out of the 88 total number of constellations, so Miss Carolyn covered the entire sky seen over North Texas in a year. And in her honor, we've continued that tradition of a constellation per week and named this segment after her. Miss Carolyn's Constellation of the Week this week is Lupus, or Lepus, the Hare. Lupus, the Hare, is an ancient constellation that is considered to be the prey that Orion the Hunter and his two hunting dogs, Canis Major and Canis Minor, are pursuing in the sky. Here we go, slide master, slide number 15, the jokes of the week. Now, you're welcome to boo hiss. I won't be able to hear that. But you're welcome to make comments over on Echolink if you have Echolink brought up. Oh, yeah, I can see those. Yeah, okay. So here we go. What do rabbits say before they eat? Let us pray. You know, like the lettuce. Okay. What's the difference between a healthy rabbit and an odd rabbit? One is a fit bunny, the other is a bit funny. Had to practice that a few times. What airline do English rabbits use? British Airways. What do you call 100 rabbits walking backwards? Oh, come on, you can do this one. A receding hairline. What type of math are rabbits the best at? Now, this is an easy one. What type of math are rabbits the easiest at? Oh, well, multiplication, of course. And the final one, here we go. How many magicians does it take to pull a rabbit out of a hat? Well, just one. That's a trick question. Oh, come on, that is funny, too. Slide master, slide number 16. Help me get out of this. Gamma Leporis is an easy-to-split double star. It can be seen as a double star even at low powers, like 40 magnification. Burnham's Celestial Handbook calls the pair of stars an easy and an appealing object for even the smallest telescopes. Some sources say that Gamma Leporis can even be split with binoculars, earning its position on the Astronomical League Binocular Double Star Club. I'll need to try that sometime. I've got 20 by 80 binoculars. I should be able to do that. In an 8-inch telescope, the primary star looks white, and the yellow-white companion. Burnham's Celestial Handbook notes that the star's proper motion through space closely matches that of Sirius. Or so perhaps Orion's great hunting dog really is pursuing the Hare through the sky. Heinz Christmann star. Oh my. R. Leporis, quoting from the Constellation of the Month article in the month's task spectrum, Heinz Crimson star is a carbon star. Such stars have high amounts of carbon in them. The carbon removes the little bit of blue light that radiates from such stars, so that's why these shine at a deep red color, a crimson color. The star appears to be very red in an 8-inch telescope, although it was not as red as Herschel's Garnet star in Cepheus. Heinz star appears to be more orange. Unfortunately, when Lupus is well placed for viewing, the southern portion of Cepheus is very low in the northern horizon, so it's difficult to make a side-by-side comparison of the two stars. Heinz Crimson star is also known as R. Leporis because it's a Miro-type variable star with a 432-day period. And this is KF5JHA. This is Skynet. Slide master, slide number 17. That is being broadcast over the W5SC repeater, just to let you know. M79 is the only Messier object in Lepus. It's a globular cluster. Walter Scott Houston noted that M79 is visible in binoculars under very good dark sky conditions. So it is a definite candidate for the Binocular Messier Club. Even so, Burnham's Celestial Handbook notes that M79 is not one of the more brilliant globular clusters. It becomes a truly impressive object only in rather large telescope. Indeed, in his book, The Messier Object, Stephen James Amira writes that at Oak Ridge Station at Harvard, Massachusetts, he once turned a 16-inch reflector toward M79 and resolved it down to its core. In an 8-inch telescope, M79 looks nice, but it's not obvious that more aperture is needed to capture more stars. But in an 8-inch telescope, you can start to resolve a few stars on the outer fringes of the cluster, but mostly around fuzzy glow with a bright core is what you see. Slide master, slide number 18. NGC, which stands for New General Catalog, 2017 is an open cluster near Alpha Leporis. Thought originally to be identified as an open cluster, NGC 2017 is now believed to be a multiple star system. It looks like 4 bright stars. That's it, with some fainter ones around it. The bright stars are notable for their variation in color, and you may be able to make out the colors like orange, yellow, white, and blue-white. Slide master, slide number 19. IC418, it's the index catalog. It's also known as the spirograph nebula. It's not very easily seen to find because it is so small, which makes it look like a star at low powers in a telescope. In spite of this, you may be able to see IC418 in a 50-millimeter finder scope. Walter Scott Houston, in his Deep Sky Wonders column, writes that because of the 9th magnitude central star, this object is readily located with 7x50 binoculars. In an 8-inch telescope at low power, it still looks stellar, but when you use an 18-millimeter eyepiece with over 100 magnification, it can show just a bit of width, but when the actual stars are in the field of view or focused to points, it looks fuzzy. In the Hubble Space Telescope photograph, IC418, the internal structure of IC418 is reminiscent of a spirograph drawing. You know, all of you got those when you were little, didn't you? Giving IC418 a moniker of the spirograph nebula. And this is KF5JHA, and this is Skynet. Slide master, slide number 20, please. You didn't know why I'm talking about slides? There's a video portion of Skynet over on YouTube. You can get to the link of that on w5fc.org website and click on that, and you can go to the YouTube video version of Skynet. Now, there's a few more Astronomical League Observing Program objects in the constellation of Lupus Hare. I've given you just a sampling of some of those objects. The Astronomical League has, at last count, 74 different observing programs. Most of them have around 100 objects. Now, if you observe just 10 different objects on an observing program each month, then you can earn an observing certificate and a pin in about a year from the Astronomical League. Slide master, slide number 21. That is Miss Carolyn's Constellation of the Week, Lepus Hare. I want to thank my friends Dave Hutchinson and Dennis Harwell for the research and words on deep sky objects that I've used, borrow, and steal for everything. Use the website constellation-guide.com for information. Now, next week we'll take a look at Auriga, the charioteer, or sometimes the shepherd. And this is KF5JHA Chaz saying good night in 73, back to our net control in 5BB. Bill, it's yours.
very much, Chas. It sounds like Bob the Cat must be under control this evening. So, do we have any additional check-ins or questions or comments? This is Inside BB, Skynet in progress. Okay, Tom, K5ICX. You want to give us any space launches for this week or visible satellite passages for this week? We've still got 15 minutes left in the net. K5ICX Inside BB.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do that, Bill. I don't think I got 15 minutes worth of material, so we'll probably end a little early. Reason mainly being is limited launches and limited passes on both sides of the aisle there. So we've got, for the International Space Station, we've only got really 2 good passes this week. One is February 2nd, minus 2.2 magnitude, 1842 in the evening. That's 6:42 local time. It'll reach its highest point at 1846 out of the southwest, and it'll fall to the south-southeast at 1849. Then 2 days later, February 4th, minus 2.2 magnitude. This is relatively low in the sky. 1845 in the evening, reaches its highest point at just 11 degrees at 1846, and it falls to the southwest at 1847. Next one we do is the Tiangong Space Station. This one has a few more passes, but not many. February 6th is a good pass, minus 1.4 magnitude at 6:01 a.m. at the north-northwest. It'll reach its highest point at 47 degrees at 6:02, and it'll fall to the east at 6:05. Then we have February 7th as a good pass. February 6th. No, that's right. February 7th, minus 1.5 magnitude, 6:38 in the evening again. Reaches highest point at 6:41 at 44 degrees, and it'll fall to the southeast at 6:44. February 8th has a good pass, minus 2.0 magnitude at 5:43 in the evening. This one comes out of shadow, though, at 74 degrees. That's at its highest point in the southeast, and it'll fall to the east-southeast at 10 degrees at 5:46. And that's it, Bill. That's all I got. Can't fill it out much more than that. Back to you, KE. Oh, wait a minute. Did I forget something? I did. I don't have the space launches here. Hang on just a second. Apparently I didn't get it in the thing. That's why it went so fast. Give me a couple of seconds here. I'll bring it up. Well, that's a new one on me. I put these things in for years, and somehow or another I missed it. Innovative Missions for Planetary Exploration, or SIMPLEX, program in 2019. Following the stage separation, the Falcon 9 first stage booster will target a touchdown and landing zone 1 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. Then we have, February 27th, 28th, launching from SLC-4E at Vandenberg, will be another Falcon 9 rocket launch with 2 manifested missions on behalf of NASA. The primary payload is the spectral photometer for the history of the universe, epoch of reionization, and ISIS Explorer. Yeah, it's Sphere X is what it spells out. Observatory, which is designed to map the entire sky in infrared light. The total mission cost for Sphere X, including the launch, is about $488 million. Interesting, they mentioned the price tag. Sharing the Falcon 9 rocket is the polar emitter to unify the corona and heliosphere, or PUNCH, which consists of 4 suitcase-sized satellites designed to map a region around the sun where the corona transitions to solar wind. Both missions will launch to a polar orbit and will be deployed about 11 minutes apart. A little less than 8 minutes after liftoff, everybody together, the Falcon 9 first stage booster will target a touchdown in landing zone 4 at VSFB. This will be from SLC-4E at Vandenberg. Falcon 9 rocket will launch dozens of satellites on the company's 13th small-sat rideshare mission to a sun-synchronous orbit. Among those satellites are a trio of CubeSats for NASA's Electrojet Zeeman Imaging Explorer, or EASY, mission. Arvaker 1, the first microsatellite for Kongsberg Nanoavionics N3X Constellation, and the BotSat 1 satellite from Botswana. Everybody together. Less than 8 minutes after liftoff, the first stage will return for a touchdown at the landing pad near the launch site. And that's it. By the way, with SpaceX having so many launches and other companies now ramping up, you can now go to space.com. There's a segment in there that's updated every day. Is there a launch today? That's the name of it, and you can check. And actually, it could sometimes be, are there launches today? Because on average, there is a launch every 2 days somewhere in the world. Most of the time, SpaceX. Okay, that's what I got for you, Bill. I think I gave you enough time to close the net. So back to you, KE5ICX.
Oh, very good, Tom. Yep, that worked out pretty good. Wow. Missions from Botswana. That's new. Okay. The only news station I see here is KG5BZW. Jay, do you want to check in on voice?
Sure. This is KG5BZW. Near Weatherford.
Very good, Jay. Do we have any other check-ins to Skynet? I don't see anything else on our electronic check-in. Last call. Any other check-ins to Skynet? This is N5BB. Final call for the net. Nothing heard tonight. We had 23 hams participating on the air in one way or another. Thanks to all of you who checked in this evening and put up with my medicated, trying to handle the dull pain from knee surgery situation here. Hope I'm not too goofy this evening. We hope you'll join us here next week and every Saturday night at 9 p.m. to discuss astronomy, space, and space exploration. On this net, the sky is never the limit. We're always looking for net control stations for this and all the other Dallas Image Radio Club nets. If you'd like to try your hand, send an email to nets@w5fc.org. You can follow topics and discussions about this net astronomy in general on Facebook and X, as well as audio and video streams, video archives, etc. Go to w5fc.org at the conclusion of this net. Until next Saturday night, this is Bill inside BB. I'll be closing the net at 10:29 p.m. We're just 1 minute under the normal end time. Doing really good, Tom. We're turning the repeater to normal amateur use. 73, everybody. Enjoy the evening discovering the universe. Tom, I'll turn it over to you for the Afterglow net. Inside BB clear. Good night.
Thank you, Bill, for doing the net this evening. We will be back in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's plenty of time to go make yourself some microwave popcorn. Set yourself down, and we'll be discussing tonight's movie, the sequel to Escape from New York, with the highly imaginative title, Escape from L.A. So that'll be in about 5 minutes. Come back then and join us. And if you've seen Escape from New York, you can talk about that one because it's almost the same story. So, 5 minutes. KE5ICX, clear for now. time is up, so now it's time to talk about tonight's movie, Escape from L.A. Now, I have to admit, I fell asleep. I did not see the end of the film. I tried to watch it this evening, but it had been removed from YouTube. So February 1, actually January 31st was the last day for free on YouTube, and I was too cheap to buy a chance to see the last 10-15 minutes of the film. So I hope it was exciting and you can tell me about it. But let me tell you a little bit about the film before we get started. This is a realized on-screen John Carpenter's Escape from L.A. I'm not sure what they mean by it. It's stylized on-screen, but whatever. It's a 1996 American post-apocalyptic film, co-scored and directed by John Carpenter, co-written and produced by Deborah Hill and Kurt Russell, with Russell also starring as Pliskin. Sequel to Escape from New York from 1981, the LA version, co-stars Steve Buscemi, Stacy Keach, Bruce Campbell, Peter Fonda, Pam Grier. There's other people in there that you'll recognize as well. I'll name them in a minute. Escape from LA failed to meet the studio's expectations at the box office and polarized reactions from critics. The film later found a strong cult following. So also in the film was Michelle Forbes. You recognize her from Star Trek. She was Lieutenant Reason. Oh, what else? Jeff. Was it Breckenmeyer? Robert Carradine as Skid. I guess he may be related to the Carradine clan. I don't know. Let's see. Is he? Yes, he is. He is. His first appearance was in Bonanza with his brother and in his brother's TV series Kung Fu. And there's a picture of him. Yeah, he looks like all the Carradine. That is a family of many actors. Okay, I'm not going to read the plot because it's very, very long and it pretty much follows the Escape from New York. So with that, I'm just going to take check-ins. Plus, I'm getting tired. Very long day today. So with that, I will ask check-ins. Please come with your call sign, your name, and did you see Escape from L.A.?
Well, I guess I'll go first. I was kind of holding off because I just saw the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes. W5BLT Bill Garland, first 20, last 20 minutes, 2x speed on YouTube. And I think in 82 I may have seen Escape from New York, so maybe that means I've seen the movie. Let's say.
Oh, fraction of movie one. I did that too. November Tango 5, Mike, Tony and Dallas. I've seen the first half of the movie.
November 5 Sierra, Quebec Alpha. Ron, Dallas. I've not seen the movie. Brothers of the Whiskey, or whatever. I've seen that.
WV5 OZL on iPhone support.
40% of the movie. NT5TM, Tony in Dallas, he saw 50% of the movie. N5SQA, Ron in Dallas, he saw 0% of the movie and he's happy. F5BZWJ near Weatherford, he saw 100% of the movie. WB5OZL, Brenda saw 100% equally, so she's seen 200% of the movie. Do I have any additional check-ins? Please come now. Okay, no problem there. For anybody who might be listening, here's the game plan. You don't necessarily have to have seen the movie, but we will ask you after you've heard others talk about it, would you be willing to see this film, or are you going to give it a pass? Or if there's another film that's like it, which there most definitely are, there's no reason to not talk about it. We've done that before. We've sometimes found better movies to talk about, even though we're reviewing another film. It's not that hard because they're pretty bad ones we've seen. We'll go through plot. First round. Second round is characterization and acting. Third round is anything missed somewhere along the way, but we do talk about the technical aspects of the film since they're all usually science fiction films, but that includes lighting, special effects, cinematography, music, you name it, whatever it is. And in really bad science fiction films, there's tons of things to complain about. Okay, we will go ahead and get started. And we will begin with Bill, W5BLT. Bill, you saw about 40% of the movie. What did you think of the 40% you saw from KE5ICX involving the plot?
Well, so I'll admit up front of a little bit biased towards John Carpenter. I don't really like his films. Probably stems from seeing Halloween in third grade and so excited to go to the movie, and the third grader Halloween was showing. I like the fog though. So this movie was so predictable, very similar to Escape from New York, which I watched on TV, so probably had all the rated R stuff cut out. You had the evil military people, the evil president, all the stuff being banned. So it's kind of your typical Big Brother type movie, and the technology that they had, and putting in a virus in them that was supposed to time, kill them if you didn't get the mission done in time, which turns out it was just a flu virus. Let's see, what else? He goes into the city in LA, and it's a little island that, had an earthquake, and people undesirables are just dropped off there, and then he has to go rescue the president's daughter, and there's some device that's going to disable everything in the world in technology, and I don't want to give the ending away, because, I think Ron is going to want to watch this one. So I figured it's very predictable. I put it on rate 2 and watched the first 20 minutes, got kind of bored. And I did want to know how it ended, though, so I thought, well, I'll just watch the last 20 minutes. And really, that was probably the most exciting part, the last 20 minutes. Now, I did kind of go back and watch a couple middle scenes, just to make sure that I didn't miss anything, and it didn't seem like I did. It was very predictable from a lot of movies that I've kind of seen, and I wasn't impressed. So there we go. W5BLT, back to net control.
All right, thank you, Bill. And, yeah, well, I would like to have seen the last part of the film, but I did read the closing surprise ending here in the wiki, but I'm not going to say anything. Next up is Tony NT5TM. Tony, you watched it at an accelerated pace, which means it moved faster for you. So did that improve the film any, even though you only saw 50% of it from KE5 ICX?
Well, no, I may have been slightly confusing. I did watch the movie at normal speed. I just only saw the first half. I would have to say this movie did not impress me at all, but it did manage to amuse me a little bit. The military dictatorship was so over the top, it was like Starship Troopers. You may repent of your sins and be electrocuted. Just let us know. The over-the-top outlets, the people on the criminal exile island who nevertheless seem to have an unlimited supply of crazy wardrobe stuff and ammunition. Snake Plissken. Yes, I know, he's a recurring character, but I don't know, it was amusing. I certainly wasn't impressed by anything in any particularly positive way. It just did manage to make me smile, whether that was intentional or unintentional, at a number of points. I just ran out of time, actually. I didn't stop watching it because it was so awful or anything like that. I can't guarantee that I'll be here for the rest of the night. I am unfortunately just extremely sleepy, but call on me, and if I'm here, I'll answer, and if not, know that I really love listening to everybody on this net. Thank you all for being here. NT5TM.
Okay, Tony, well, if you doze off, we'll yell into our microphones to make sure you hear us. Okay, I'm going to skip Ron. He's going to be listening intently to decide if he wants to see this film, because who wants to miss out on a great film? Which this isn't. But, Jay, KF5BZW, Jay, what did you think about the plot for our fine film, Escape from L.A.?
Yes, it's KG5BGW, and I'm going to echo Tony here. Yeah, it was kind of amusing. It wasn't terrible, but was it great? No. In fact, I was kind of disappointed. I seem to recall I actually kind of enjoyed the Escape from New York a lot more than even though I don't think that was necessarily a fantastic movie either. I do seem to recall enjoying it a lot more, and this one, yeah, it was predictable. Some of the characters were unpredictable, the introductions there and everything. We're talking about plot, though, but some people were talking about not spoiling the ending. I mean, there's a lot of Chekhov's gun involved in this film, which whether or not that's a good thing. I mean, by that I mean like a lot of items that you see first, you do see a little bit later at some point. It's like, oh, we haven't used this. Well, yeah. That I kind of figured that's probably what was to happen. I did not expect. I mean, I did expect, but at the same time, I'm like, the ethical, screw 'em all kind of aspect of it. I didn't quite like at the very end, because that really would screw up everything. Even though, both the president and those that wanted to invade were evil in their own ways, which kind of interesting, but there's like basically no good characters except for maybe Pliskin just, trying to survive it all. So, you know, it kind of runs into the motif of what is the name? What would you call it? Lone wolf motif. Even though wolves aren't really even lone wolves, and the weird lone wolves are the ones that, you know, anyway. It's a little bit silly, but yeah, at the same time, yeah, it was a little bit amusing, so I don't know. There's not much I would really want to say beyond that, and if I do, I'll probably be getting into the characterization, so I'll have the next person, KG5VZW.
All right, thank you, Jay. Now I see Brenda is, well, let's see what we get. Brenda, WB5OZL. We did hear you on the last, on your check-in. It was doubled, but I see you now as just a single entry. That is a good thing, and you're on your iPhone. So let's see what happens. Brenda, let her rip. Go ahead and give it a shot from KE5ICX.
This is WB5OZL. I turned off the other copy of Echo Link, so maybe this will work. Not as good as I'd hoped, but at least I'm here. No idea why the other thing wouldn't work. I've tried everything in the world to troubleshoot it. I just no idea. So, I like this movie okay. I saw the whole thing, and you know, it's a fun romp, but it's predictable. It has some watchable people in it. Kurt is, you know, he's very cute and very watchable. He's a great actor. And there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff, a lot of campy stuff, which was kind of fun. This is not highbrow entertainment for sure. And I don't think I'd want to see it again. It was kind of predictable. But that's okay. You know, the plot was pretty easy to understand. It's just, you chase me and then I'll chase you and then we'll repeat. And there just weren't really any big surprises here. So, okay, I'm going to send it back to net. This is WB5OZL.
All right, thank you. And by the way, your audio was fine. It actually sounds a little better on the other system, but this works fine. We can hear you just fine, and it's intelligible and all of that. So stick with it. When all else fails, use that. I think it'll work just fine for you. Okay, let me see. We're at the bottom of the list. Short check-in list. So I'll go ahead and ask. Anyone else want to join us this evening? Tonight's movie is Escape from L.A. from 1996. So if you'd like to join us, you don't even have to have seen the film. It's fine. If you want to have fun and discuss it, please come with your call sign, your name, and did you see Escape from L.A.?
Kilo Bravo 9, Oscar Kilo. Sean Fort Worth. Yes, I did see this film.
Okay, Sean, KB9S okay, you got it, you're in. Tell us what you think of the plot.
Yeah, this is KB9S, okay. I agree with everybody. This was a pretty simple, straightforward plot. Nothing really in depth here. We had this small twist at the ending, which
I guess is probably the best part of the film. This was just, I remember watching this, well, I actually remember the New York one, and of course that was in the early 80s. It kind of fit into that era of over-the-top action kind of movies, where we all are one-liners and, just very campy. And I'm not sure why they waited 15 years to make the sequel, but I think they tried to recapture that, and I think it fell a little short of the original in that respect, and maybe just because such a long period of time. It was okay, but yeah, it just for the, it was one of those films I remember originally watching it, thinking it was okay, and haven't watched it until last night again, and I didn't enjoy it the second time around near as much as the first time. This was kind of one of those films that it's fun to watch one time, but it's not one of those ones you want to do a repeat watch. It's not held up particularly well with time, unlike the movie we watched last week, which still looks and is still very watchable today, still relevant. But this was just kind of just one of those campy, fun, one-time watch kind of films. Isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's definitely not going to set any records on fire or even maybe even give a very strong recommendation on this one. It just kind of falls in the middle. I agree with Tony. I had the same questions. Where did they get their infinite supplies? They were wasting bullets like just like they grow in them. And then, how do they have power? If this puts me on an island and they're all basically inmates, so it's kind of a, they explain a lot, but these kind of movies, they typically don't. So really not a lot to say on this one other than just, fun for a one-time watch, and that's about it. Anyway, back to net, KB9SOK.
All right, thank you, Sean. Well, let me go ahead and make my comments. I've seen Escape from New York, I don't know how many times. It's not always at the top of my list of films to watch, but it is a repeat film. I enjoy it. I've seen it probably 5, 6 about characterization, all these different characters, and there's a lot of them. What do you think? We'll start with Bill, W5BLT. What do you think of characterization for Escape from LA from KE5ICX?
Good evening. The time is 11 p.m.
Well, yeah, you had Snake and, with Kurt Russell, and yeah, now that you mention it, it seemed kind of like Clint Eastwood, now that I think about it. It was kind of interesting. He would try something, and then they go, "We knew you would do that," and we're holograms, and that's why your first round of bullets were blanks or whatever. The president's daughter was, typical, getting kidnapped and, by this, I guess, gang leader in L.A. That was interesting, too. I couldn't figure out where they got their food from. And then the other interesting thing was I did, when I told you, I tuned in for one of the middle parts, and they had these characters in there that had too much plastic surgery done and weren't eating fresh body parts. And I'm like, okay, we're skipping through this. So, yeah, the president, he was really over the top and didn't seem to really care about his daughter at all, and wanted everybody to see him on TV there at the end. And, of course, you had his military people that were kind of the yes people. So, I didn't really care about any of the characters, really, to be honest with you. And it could be because I didn't really care about the film. And I will just say this. I think I agree with Jay. I remember kind of liking the Escape from New York. And so for kind of agreeing with both of you, Tom and Jay, I remember that movie fondly. Now, it'd be interesting to go back and watch it again. Do I remember it as fondly? I think it's on Amazon Prime. But, yeah, the characters were just kind of just predictable. And I think I was supposed to laugh at some parts, but it just, I know it's campy and everything, but it just didn't make me laugh. So, the characterization, I think it was just not a lot of character development. I just didn't care about any of them at all. So, that's kind of all I got. W5BLT.
Oh, Bill, I can just feel I can hear the disappointment in your voice. And probably all the people that were in the theater, too, that saw this film and wanted their money back. But, okay, next up is Tony, NT5TM. Tony, you want to bring some sort of redemption to our unredeemable movie from KE5ICX?
Well, thank you, Tom. I feel a little goofy now that I didn't recognize that, he was making fun of Clint Eastwood. Although I do kind of think the president really was supposed to have been played by Harvey Keitel, but they just got somebody else to play the part. Something I've also noticed is that in B movies, military people often don't have anything in particular to do. In many movies, they'll say something like battle stations, and you'll see soldiers rushing to guns and climbing into watchtowers and doing something that makes them look military. In B movies, often one group of soldiers just has the job of walking to and fro, and then there are others who walk fro and to, and they don't really seem to be there for any particular reason other than walking back and forth. But, it's good exercise at least. So, maybe in the second half the characters would have become more memorable, but they weren't in the first half. They were just kind of like, oh, you're all sort of vaguely amusing and funny. Now I am curious to see the result of this. I don't actually think I'm going to finish this movie, but now I am curious to watch Escape from New York. see if the original is better. NT5TM, I think I'm signing off for the night, but thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Tony, and thanks for your contributions. Well, next up is Ron, N5SQA. Ron, we gave you a chance to hear our wonderful opinions of this film. What do you think? Is this one you'll see, and did you see the original Escape from New York, New York?
Well, thanks, Tom. Let's see. I think I've seen bits of the original. I did not see any of this. And based upon all of the astute observations I've copied over the past few minutes, you can rest assured that this is not on my queue of movies to watch. And I appreciate the work of this whole group to help me understand that. That's all I got. N5SQA back to net.
Well, Ron, we're very happy we're providing a public service here, and hopefully all the other Rons of the world that are listening tonight, and we don't know, there could be dozens, hundreds, millions of them, in fact, that could be listening or watching on YouTube or something. Who the hell knows? But they've been saved an hour and 33 minutes of their lives, and if you've seen Escape from New York, then you're in good shape. And, you know, Robert De Niro and Liza Minnelli, they were good in that movie, especially with the machine guns. Okay, next up is Jay, KF5ZBZW. Jay, your thoughts on characterization and acting from KE5 ICX?
Hi, this is Kiddo Golf 5, Bravo Zoo Whiskey. Characters. I mean, the characters that were introduced, and I will say I was kind of surprised that one of them just, being introduced to be shot later. That was maybe the one surprise in this movie that was really truly surprising. In terms of plot, I don't know. I mean, Bruce was, I'd say Bruce, the surgeon, the plastic surgeon, general, whatever. He was obviously just introduced for the campiness, whatever. I mean, he's generally good for that. I don't think he. I don't know if he was utilized enough, to be honest, but whatever. I will say it's the one character that was not, Pam Grier is not, as far as transgender or anything, but I do remember a trend of transgender people being in at a certain time unfortunately being made to be evil, and it's kind of possibly, maybe I'm trying to make positive light of it, that really wasn't, but it is kind of refreshing not to have an evil character that was transgendered. They're interesting characters. Did it add to the movie? I don't know, really. I mean, trying to remember. I recall Pam Grier being well respected, and I don't really think she is transgender or anything. But not that it really matters. Again, was there anything really added to this? I don't know. It honestly seems like they added a lot of stuff just because the plot was a little bit lacking. I mean, it was mostly action, which you expect, but I mean, they're good action movies, and then there's this, which I mean, it was. I actually did pay for this film. I don't regret paying for it, but yeah, well, I did again now. Because really, there's no growth or anything. There's just, you know, okay, well, there's a new situation with new characters. Okay, let's do this. And then, I mean, Steve Buscemi's character was, I mean, it seems like his character have always been a little bit of the really kind of questionable character sort if you catch like the script. But yeah, that's just him playing his dog character. So really, characters, what really were added by the characters, I don't think there was much. This movie was all about action and a lot of action that didn't necessarily even make sense, as others have noted about you know, infinite ammo and the world not making sense. But anyway, yeah, don't think too much about this film or its characters. Thank you for having me, W.
All right, thank you, Jay. Next up is Brenda, WB50ZL. Brenda, your thoughts on characterization?
This is WB50ZL. Pretty much thought most of the characters were pretty one-dimensional, or some are a little quirky, but I just didn't see a whole lot of depth shown on the characters, especially the main characters. Pliskin was, you know, I mean, he's okay, but there was just nothing complex about him. He's a pretty simple guy. For the most part, most of them were pretty simple. And honestly, a lot of them weren't very nice. Even when they didn't, you know, when it would have been easy to be nice. They, you know, I mean, the president not wanting to even let his daughter live, I thought that was pretty harsh. And, you know, nobody was good friends, or there was no joking around. Fun in this movie. Absolutely none at all. So, yeah, it wasn't all bad. You did root for the main character. You hoped that he lived and made it through. But on the whole, just didn't care too much about the characters. Back to Matt, WB50ZL.
All right, thank you, Brenda. Next up, Sean, KB9SOK. Sean, your thoughts on characterization?
Yeah, this is KB9SOK. Yeah, not a lot to add here. As everybody said, these characters are very one-dimensional. As everybody said, the president character was, you know, just way over the top. our forever president. Yeah, thank goodness we don't have any presidents that want to do that in real life. Oh, it's then obviously Snake. He was, not much growth there. I agree. The original movie was better. Wasn't quite as, it was somewhat campy, but not as much as this. Not as one-sided. So yeah, these characters, they actually felt like they came out of a comic book. They were so over the top that it was just, extreme. The villains were almost, they feel like they came out of a comic book, almost like Bond villains, but just not as smart. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about any of these characters. They're all so much alike. And as mentioned earlier, these were fairly famous actors. I don't know if they just wanted in on it because of the original one kind of having that cult classic following. They thought, well, they wouldn't be involved in the sequel. But for the amount of star power in this movie, it was just, once again, not that I blame them, wasn't a lot to work with there, but once again, just kind of a campy one-time watch kind of movie for fun. Anyway, back to that, KV9SOK.
Hey, thank you, Sean. Do I have any additional check-ins? Like to join us this evening? We're talking about Escape from L.A. from 1996. Please come with your call. All right, well, I guess maybe one of the things I liked, but I now realize with some of the comments here that they kind of got wasted. Bruce Campbell's always a fun actor. He played the surgeon, the plastic surgeon, which of course is somebody you would have at the, in LA. So there was, of course, the campiness that involves the LA assumes its new roles, which is not too different from the old roles. And I think that's what they were trying to do, but it didn't work all that well, that part. Map to the Stars, Eddie, who was played by, who's that guy? Steve Buscemi, who plays pretty much himself in everything that he does, but he's a very fun character to watch. Peter Fonda, he kind of played this Peter Fonda wild, what was that film? Wild something, I forget. I'm getting a little tired too. I had a very long day. Cliff Robertson as the over-the-top president. Of course, he was blacklisted, so he gets to play the bad guy that probably blacklisted him. So there's that. Stacy Keach plays Stacy Keach as in this case, the crazy cop in charge of the whole institution. So there's all of that, I think, which is fine and dandy. And we know Kurt Russell playing Kurt Russell. Did I miss anyone? Michelle Forbes' character is okay. She was in there just briefly. She played Michelle Forbes, so it's okay. So I guess maybe it just looked better than what it was. Hard to say. Okay, well, we've got one more round that we can struggle through. We're probably going to end early, which wouldn't bother me in the least. I had a very long day today. Okay, we'll start back at the top with Bill. Bill, you want to talk about special effects or music or something we missed on the first two rounds or something that you want to say? Or if you want to talk about anything you want, you can do that too. Anything, Bill, you want to add, here's your opportunity. W5BLT from KE5ICX.
Well, the bullets sounded like they were flying through the air like every other action-packed movie. The cars and everything sounded realistic, and there was music. The one thing that was interesting when they were at the beginning of it, getting ready to take him to the island, they were letting them know that they were going to go, into LA, and they had the opportunity to choose to be electrocuted or shocked on premises. So you could choose that, and it would be immediate. And of course, there was a zapping sound. Somebody, I guess, chose that. That sounded realistic to me. In researching, I guess he's known for, I think, the wide angle or wide screen, something like that on his photography, which, again, as somebody who's blind, I'm not going to notice that in this film, but it was interesting to read about the photography stuff, I guess, or how he likes to shoot the film. And then the other thing, he does some musical scores, I guess, and likes to dabble in that in the music. But I didn't find this music anything like I would go, oh yeah, I got to go buy that album. So, yeah, that's it. W5BLT.
Alright, thank you, Bill. No, that's fine. Although I've got something to say about the music and a little bit myself. Tony may be signed off, but let's find out. NT5TM, Tony, you still there? And you got any final comments? Okay, Tony is gone. I'm going to ask Ron. Ron, N5SQA. I've never asked you this question, but do you have any movie requests, something that you think that this group might like, and I'll put it on the list, or any comments you want to make in general? Go ahead. If you're still there, N5SQA from KE5ICX. Well, we go pretty late. I wish I were Ron right now. I'm about ready to fall out myself. Next up, Jay, KF5BZW. Jay, any parting comments you'd like to bring to the net? Go ahead, from KE5ICX.
I'm not going to bug you. I'll have a kilo golf, so I promise to whiskey. But anyway, yeah, I don't think the sound of that was terrible. Or, well, I mean, some of the special effects were kind of cheesy. But, I mean, they probably looked cool in 1996, but not really today. Some of it was, some of it was practical, but still looked, decent. Of course, there were fire explosions, like gas explosions, that didn't necessarily physically make sense, but that had the awe factor and all that, and the Starlight industry was just silly, but I mean, it wasn't terrible, so, I'll go with that. The music, I don't know, I can't really remember the music, but it seems to go okay with the film. I do remember one bit that was very much Western coded toward the end, where, with him being kind of, that you said, kind of like crazy, but I guess, yeah. I guess that's a better thing that you said than what I said about whatever, but, I don't know what else to say. There ain't think some of people are getting tired. So I'll hand it to the next person. KG5BDW.
Alright, thank you, Jay. And next up is Brenda, WB5OZL. Brenda, your parting shots. What do you want to tell us from KE5I6?
This is WB5OZL, parting shots. I didn't care for the music very much. I didn't care for the story all that much. Special effects, we had some good chases and crashes and all that. They got that act down pretty well. Some of the actors were really wonderful. I love Steve Buscemi. He's so good at playing himself and everything. And he's just naturally very, very funny. Special effects. How many different ways can you do a car chase? They did that. There evidently was no further reviews of Escape from, seen the end of it. Alright, I'm tired too. It's been a really hard week. So, I'm going to call it quits. WB5OZL.
Alright, thank you, Brenda. And finally, Sean, KB9SOK. Sean, what do you got for us on a parting shot?
Yeah, this is KB9SOK. Well, the special effects, there wasn't a whole lot there. It was mostly just your typical practical explosions. We had a little bit of CG in this film, of course, from the 90s, or mid to late 90s there. It's not holding up as well. I know the submarine shot at the beginning, you could tell it looked a little on the cheesy side. Unlike the film that we watched last week, which had practical effects, which still looks good today, the effects in this film were definitely looking dated. We had that, right in the wave scene, which was, which was almost comical, but you clearly tell it didn't look real. But in some ways, those cheesy effects kind of played into this cheesy movie. So maybe it's partly intentional. And then the music, there was a fair amount of it, but nothing. At least for me, it wasn't particularly memorable. Not a soundtrack I'd run out and get. I think it was filmed very stylistically throughout. They did keep it consistent throughout the film, so I think that was fine. Audio was fine. No whole lot to say other about smooth than that. As usual, thanks Tom, and enjoyed it. Look forward to the next one. KB9SOK.
Thank you, Sean. My parting shots on this film. It's having liked Escape from New York as an okay movie, and it was fun, and it's worth rewatching. You'll see with the characterization. The story was new then, and kind of a fun idea, and over the top. It was still a parody of sorts. This one, as I mentioned before, was self-aware. It just knew that it was a parody on top of a parody, and that it was going to be very, very campy, to the point where it was a distraction, and that's unfortunate. There were some aspects of the film I liked. The music was okay. Shirley Walker contributed to the music. She died fairly young at 61. Had done music Why we couldn't get to that standard, I don't know. Writing is everything, I guess. But John Campbell is John Carpenter is somebody who knows how to make a good film, and this one wasn't quite up to snuff. It was okay, but considering the caliber of the guy, I was expecting more. But oh well, that's kind of the way it is. All right, let me take a look here and see what next week's movie is. Please stand by. All right, next week's movie that's scheduled is from 2011 called The Limitless. Limitless is next week's movie. I'll post all this stuff in the morning when I wake up, and we do this again. So, okay. Well, it was fun, everybody. We'll see how this all goes. Been down here in Corpus now for several months, and found new group of people. I miss you folks a lot. I certainly knew that would change, but I've met a lot of new people down here and done a lot of things with my running and that, which I've enjoyed, and the South area amateur South Lake. Boy, I am tired. The local group down here, the Amateur Radio Club, is Stark, the South Texas Amateur Radio Club's a pretty good group. Not as great as the ARC and some of the other clubs, but they're pretty good. They really do a good job. They got a number of repeaters down here, and are connected up to a whole bunch of repeaters. So they have a big net down here and throughout South Texas on, I think it's Tuesday evenings. Sometimes busy. I haven't been on the one here lately, but at any rate here. So it's been fun and interesting trying to set up the shack and do things. But it's been a whirlwind, actually. Retirement and everything has been quite active. So as I just mentioned that, half delirious. I spent 3.5 hours running this morning and 18 miles, and that's my other thing. I guess I'm getting ready for a marathon in next month. We'll see how that goes. That's 26 miles. That'll be fun. All right. We'll see you all next week. Same bad time, same bad station. Have a good evening, and I'm going to bed. 7-3, everybody. Good night. This is KE5 ICX Clear.